girl Red Rose Ever Missionary, and I am excited that you're joining me today. Wherever you're joining me from, it's a good afternoon, good evening, good morning, and good night, because I know you're watching this video probably from, I don't know where. And thank you so much. So today is day 4. Okay, and if you don't know what the 4 is about, please go to my YouTube channel and Facebook page. You'll be able to follow this story. And please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and to like and follow my Facebook page. So I am on a journey, and today is the day number 4, and our last day is day 35. So I did the intro, so I don't want to go into that. So today I'm talking about Varsity University. So I had an opportunity to go through 3 different universities in my life. The first one was the University of Zambia School of Extension Studies. The second one was the Birkbeck University, which is based in London. And the last one so far is UNILAS, which is which is in Lusaka. Though I'm sort of doing short courses and so on, but I won't talk about that. So this particular video, I hope that it will touch you, and especially if you haven't yet gone to university, and I beyond touching you, I pray that it will inspire you to ask God for whatever you need in line with with his will, you know what I mean? Because for me, to the glory of God, I had an opportunity to sort of pay for all my universities, you know what I mean? All my university fees, you know what I mean? So when I was in grade 12, I realized that my siblings, if you don't know how many we are, you check out, I think, first or second video, you'll be able to hear more about that, or third video, I've forgotten. So I had siblings, younger siblings as well, and I noticed that my parents needed to spend to pay more attention to my younger siblings, because I thought at least if I could finish grade 12, I could do something, but obviously I didn't know where that opportunity was going to come from. So what did I do? I prayed to God that he should open a door for me to start working so that I could take myself to university. And guess what? God heard the prayer of that girl that was only in grade 12. I didn't know how and where I was going to find the job, because I didn't know, you know what I mean? But I prayed to God, and I believed God that he was going to open the way, and I didn't know how, but I knew he was going to do that. And guess what? He came through for me. I had an opportunity to work with SPW, now called Restless Development. Immediately, in fact, I knew that I was going to work with them a year before, a month or so before we finished high school, and God made that way for me. And it's through working with Restless for like 10 years that I had an opportunity to take myself to school to do a diploma in social work at the University of Zambia Extension Studies, and to do a short course in gender and development at Birkbeck University in London. And I can assure you, it's just that prayer that I made to God that opened the door for me to take myself to school. And obviously UNILAS is another story that I'll talk about later. So I want to challenge you out there, if you are listening to me, and if you are blaming your parents for not taking you to school, if you are hating your family, because you can't go to school, if you're admiring other people, and so on and so forth. First of all, I'd like for you to take responsibility. You know what I mean? Your parents have taken care of you. You are still alive. It means that they didn't abort you. So if you're still alive, your parents deserve the respect and the honor. All right. And secondly, if it's beyond them, why not take it to the Lord in prayer, who is our Heavenly Father, the all-knowing, all-gracious God. Take that request to God in prayer. Just say, God, I want to go to university. God, I want a job. And the same God that did it for me, I can assure you, he will do it for you. And he will make a way which will blow you away, you know what I mean? So take it to the Lord in prayer. And secondly, when God opens that door for you, it's not time to look bling bling, kaching, it's for you now to be so focused. You prayed for that job so that it could help you to go to further your education and your studies, and you need to honor that. You know what I mean? Like for me, God opened the way for me. I was a volunteer here and there, but guess what? I managed to save some money and took myself to school. And to the glory of God, now I look at him and say, thank you, God, for giving me an opportunity to go to school. My friends were looking bling bling, getting expensive stuff. For me, I was very thrift with my money. And guess what? I managed to get a diploma. I managed to even go to London and do that short course. Beyond that, guess what? It's that diploma that I got at the University of Zambia. Some people used to laugh and say, oh, you went to the school of elderly people and so on. I didn't bother. All I was interested in is the knowledge. And guess what? The job that I got later on required someone who had a bachelor's degree. But my diploma spoke for me. And I got that job. You know what I mean? So you can imagine if I didn't have a diploma, this opportunity would have come. It was advertised in the paper. And I was going to lose it. You know, I was going to miss it. But because God opened that door, I was faithful to that door. I was faithful in what he gave me, able to take myself to school. And God used that diploma, even though they were looking for a degree, to give me another job. You know what I mean? And guess what? The job that I had later on helped me to also further my studies, because now I was a bit clear on what I wanted to study, and that's public health at UNILAS. You know, and by the grace of God, God was still with me. You know, I didn't pay all my fees. I paid half of my fees because the organization that I worked for paid half of my fees, you know, and the half of my fees is what I was able to pay. Amazing, you know. And as if that's not enough, my husband just came in and said, you need to go to school, you know, and he pushed me, played a key role in me starting my degree program. All right, and obviously I graduated, for some of you who know, at 34 years old. I'll talk about that later. So, but I want to encourage you. This is not time for blame game. Don't blame your parents. Just the fact that they brought you on earth is evidence enough that they love you. So what is it that you have in your hands that you can use for God to use, so that, you know, so that you can do whatever you want to do? If it's an education you can pursue. It's not enough to just admire other people that have gone to school. What can you do? What is in your hands? So like I told you, for me, I prayed, God made the way. And let me tell you something, I've always been faithful in my job, because I know each and every job that I have had, God is the one who opens that door for me. And I work with an exceptional attitude. You know, I like to produce superior work. Why? Because I know it's by the grace of God that I still have the jobs that I have. Lastly but not least, I wanted to share with you that I got my degree, a bachelor's, you know, of science in public health when I was 34. I remember when I was working, some people thought I was not serious. They didn't understand my strategy. Obviously, I was serving for my school, you know, and people thought I was not serious. They say, okay, you still want to volunteer with this organization, you know, you should be serious, and so on and so forth. And guess what? I didn't pay attention to what they were saying, because I knew that I had a plan to go to school when I had enough money to sponsor myself. And I got a degree at 34 years, you know, old. I know for some people they might brag and say I got my first degree when I was less than 20 years and so on. But for me, even when I graduated, I was so grateful to God that I didn't care if it was 34 years when others are getting 20 years. I was all over Facebook just to thank God for his faithfulness. So you might be watching me now and you're wondering, so, oh my God, how can God bless me? I don't have a first degree and so on. I want to encourage you. What do you have in your hands? What can you do now that can give you an opportunity to study whatever you want to study? By the way, I'm still adventurous. I'm still ambitious. You know, I still want to do my master's, my PhD. I'm looking at options now and so on. I want to study as much as I can, you know, and I know the same God who gave me an opportunity to do those courses is the same God that is going to provide the money. So I want to encourage you, start from somewhere. Start from somewhere. And now the universities have many in Zambia, and they have amazing payment plans. There are a few universities that will require you to pay the full amount before you go to school. You know what I mean? So why not ask God for a job, so that with that job you can take yourself to school? And also there are some, you know, there are some universities that offer scholarships. If you're an orphan, if you're vulnerable, you know, you do well to research for such universities so that you can go to school. So why waste time on social media? Why waste time admiring other people? Why waste time do all sorts of things that will just depress you? Why not step out of social media, go to your closet, pray God for wisdom, pray to God for wisdom, for grace, and start to look for opportunities that God can use to change your life. So I hope you've been inspired. I could write a lot about this and my experiences with my lecturer, but for now it's bye bye. See you on the other side.